Hi and welcome to Evidence Pending My Paranormal Life. I hope you're doing well out there. Today I'm on location in North Yorkshire again, and this time we're at Boggle Hole. Now boggarts are a mischievous, sometimes helpful being that can perform all manner of good or bad things. And the cave that's behind me was home to one particular boggle, or boggart. And there are links to the high strangeness. Between Whitby and Scarborough, where the Cleveland Way winds along cliffs layered with 180 million years of rock, lies a small hidden cove named Boggle Hole. It is carved entirely by the sea. It is a dark, weather-worn archway leading to shadowed chambers where the echo of waves beats like a slow, ancient heartbeat. For centuries, this quiet little inlet has carried a name that holds a whole world of old magic. It is said to be the home of a boggle, one of the most famous of those elusive spirits that haunt the coast. And it is far from alone. All along these shores, similar caves and clefts are known as boggle holes or hob holes. Each a doorway, each a thin place, where the veil between our world and the realm of the old ones grows almost transparent. This is their story, the legend of sightings of deeper meaning behind the places where the land and the unseen meet. First, let us understand the name. Boggle comes from the Old English buggy or bug, which means hobgoblin or sprite, or a dweller in the dark. In Yorkshire it is often used alongside boggart, yet there is a subtle, important difference. Boggles belong to the shore, the caves, the cliffs and the tide, the liminal spaces where the land meets the sea, where nothing is fixed or still. Boggarts, by contrast, are more often found on the moors, at crossroads, or even attached to a farm or a household. But both are what the ancients called genius loci, the living spirit of a place itself. Not demons, not ghosts, but something older than human memory. They rarely show themselves clearly. Those who have encountered them still speak of small, haunted shadows that slip between rocks and vanish when you turn to look. Faint dancing lights that hover just out of reach. They come with a sudden biting cold that wraps around you. Even the warm summer's days can turn cold. Whispers, giggles or soft footsteps. They seem to rise from the stone itself. They are neither good nor evil. They are wild, unpredictable and deeply tied to the land. Treat them with respect and they may guide you or even heal. Trespass, mock or try to capture them or even name them and they will lead you astray. Hide your path or fill the dark with mocking laughter. There is an old Yorkshire lullaby that carries this warning still. My mummy bid me gan to bed, my daddy said no. My mummy said if I wouldn't gan, she would fetch the boggle bow. The most enduring tale of this cove tells us that the boggle did not always live here. Long ago it dwelt openly in the village of Robin Hood's Bay itself. This boggle was a mischief maker, hiding fishermen's nets, moving tools overnight, rattling shutters at midnight and laughing when folk stumbled into the dark. The villagers grew uneasy, not out of fear, but out of a sense of this wild spirit was too powerful for human streets. So they called upon a priest to lay the boggle and bind it to a place where it could do no harm, yet still remain part of the land it loved. He drove it down the lanes past the whitewashed cottages and banished it into the sea cave, the hollow we now call Boggle Hole. But here the legend deepens, for the banishment became a blessing. Once confined to the rock and tide, the boggle's nature softened. Mothers began to make the journey at low tide, carrying children stuck down with fever, wasting sickness or coughs that no doctor could cure. They knelt at the cave's mouth, left small offerings, a crust of bread, a pinch of salt, a smooth white pebble, and they called softly to the spirit. And many returned to find their children calm their fevers broken and their strength returning. The Boggle would become a guardian of the vulnerable, and the cave a quiet shrine of the unseen. Later smugglers too learned its secrets. Its hidden chambers became perfect hiding places for silks, tea and spirits, away from the excise men. And the Boggle's reputation served them well, for there were few who would dare venture into a Boggle hole after dark. What have people actually seen and felt here? The accounts are remarkably consistent across the centuries, from the 18th century diaries to modern day hikers and fossil hunters. They speak of shadowy small figures flitting between rock pools, vanishing the moment you glance directly at them, disembodied giggling or whispering that seems to rise from the cave walls, never from one spot but all around you. Mist that appears out of nowhere, clinging only to the cave's mouth, even when the rest of the coast is clear. Footprints in the sand that end abruptly, as if a walker stepped sideways into another world, rather than walking away. No one reports a full solid apparition. That is not the Boggle's way. It reveals itself only in hints and feelings. The overwhelming sense that you are not alone, that something watches you from the darkness. Cautious, not hostile, but entirely otherworldly. Even today, visitors often leave with the same quiet feelings. This place holds more than just stone and sea. But Boggle Hole is not unique. Along the entire North Yorkshire coast, from Ravenscar down to Scarborough and inland onto the moors, the cliffs are riddled with similar hollows, caves and springs, all known as Boggle Holes or Hob Holes. So here we are at one of the many Hob Holes that lead to the coastline in this area. Now Hob is a whole world name for the devil, according to some. You often hear old English tales with the word Hob in them. So here we are, inside one of the Hob Holes. There are a lot of tales in this area of high strangeness going on throughout the ages. I've never witnessed anything here myself. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. There are other places like Hayburn Wyke, where a waterfall tumbles straight into the sea, home of a hob who brings luck to those who leave an offering of flowers or seaweed. There are hob holes near Ravenscar, where mothers still whispered charms to cure children's coughs well into the 1800s. There is also Scalby Wyke and Clareton Wyke, smaller, quieter clefts, each holding their own quiet guardian spirit. Why so many? Because these are liminal spaces, thresholds where the world shifts, where land meets sea and the tide turns neither fully in or fully out, where rock is hollowed out, neither solid or empty. In the old belief, these are the thin places, where the veil between the living and the ancestral and mortal and the spirit is so fine you can sense it, just by standing still and listening. Boggles are not hauntings, they are the land's own memory, made visible in the mist and the shadow. These Boggle holes are not relics of a primitive past. They have maps of how our ancestors understood the world, a wisdom we are only now beginning to rediscover. Nature is alive, not just scenery. Every cove, spring and rock holds consciousness and power. Boundaries are fluid. Between the healing and mischief, land and sea, this world and the next, we do not own the world. We share it with older, quieter beings who have guarded these shores for millennia. Boggle Hole and its kin are not just caves, they are doorways to a deeper reality, deeper understanding, one that still waits. If only we slow down enough to listen and respect the thin places where the Boggles live, we may just find out something valuable about ourselves. Well, that's it from me here at Boggle Hole, and until the next time, stay safe out there people, and I shall see you on the other side. don't know what I'm doing here. I've never seen a boggle. There is more to these folk tales and these ancient places than meets the eye.